Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
So I've got a statement here, courtesy of Kiwi Box. So thank you very much for that there, my man. And it kind of explains everything why the WBA suspended Luis Ortiz. And to cut it short, the reason was that he failed a second test. Now, well, I say second test, not second test recently, but he failed one back in 2014, I believe it was, and now he's failed another one, which is why he's been banned. But that's not really the issue here, and it's not really the question that I want to ask you. So I'm going to read the background facts on the statement from the WBA, and this is what they said. On September the 25th, 2017, the WBA Championships Committee issued resolution number 201 blah blah blah, clarifying the heavyweight division in light of Vladimir Klitschko's retirement, and authorised super champion Anthony Joshua to face IBF's mandatory Kubrat Pulev before facing the WBA mandatory Luis Ortiz. Joshua objected to Ortiz's status as the mandatory based on the negotiations and subsequent announcement that Ortiz would be fighting the WBC champion Deontay Wilder for the WBC championship. So that's the opening statement. Now after that, it does go into all the kind of anti-doping regulations and the rules, and it goes on and on and on. I'll drop the link in the description below. Now, the bit that I'm kind of a bit baffled by, and it's a question that I want to ask you guys, is what do they mean when Joshua objected to Ortiz's status as a mandatory based on the negotiations and subsequent announcement that Luis Ortiz would be fighting Deontay Wilder for the WBC title? So there's a few ways to look at it. Number one, is it a case of, well, Luis Ortiz was giving up his WBA mandatory shot to fight Deontay Wilder for the WBC, so a champion can't be mandatory, right? So maybe he was saying, look, you know, he should no longer be the mandatory because he went through the whole negotiations with that, and he effectively give up his WBA mandatory position for that. Or is it a case of Deontay Wilder wanted the WBA as well, and, well, sorry, they wanted the WBA title on the line when he fought Luis Ortiz, so like a unification, if you like. And because that didn't happen, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn got the hump about it, the fact that they even tried it, so they did everything that they could to get Luis Ortiz removed. The other one, is it a case of Anthony Joshua was just trying to avoid Luis Ortiz, as in he didn't want that work, he didn't want to fight somebody like Luis Ortiz. He's too difficult, he's too good of a boxer. So think about that statement, have like a little read of it, and tell me what you think. Is it a case of Joshua just didn't want that work? Is it a case of Joshua was playing the games back at Luis Ortiz for trying to get the WBA title on the line against Wilder, as in he didn't see that as fair, so he threw the ball back at him? Or is it a case of that Anthony Joshua just said, look, you know, he gave up his mandatory because he tried to fight Deontay Wilder. Whether that fight came off or whether it didn't is irrelevant. He negotiated and agreed to fight. So anyway, you drop yourself a comment below as to what you think about it. Have a read of the whole article if you like. It's quite extensive, but either way, drop yourself a comment and let me know what you feel about it.